All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. It is Saturday, May 10th. We got a full MLB slate to dive into in today's video like we always do. I'm going to dive into each and every one of these games. I'm going to give you my prediction on the side. I'll give you my prediction on the total. We'll talk about any other plays like player props that we like within the game as well. But as always, guys, keep an eye down on the pinned comment of this video. That'll take you to all of my final plays. So I'm actually rolling with myself. If that does interest you, it's absolutely free down in the pinned comment. All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. I tell you guys I'm a dummy all the time. They don't suck. They've just been sucking. Get them down to -3, 4 more juice than Jose Canseco in his prime. Tell me you're new without telling me you're new. So don't go jumping down my throat in the comments, right? If you want to fade me, or if you do want to ride me, this still leaves a bad taste in my mouth, right? And remember, more chins, more wins. Yesterday, nothing to write home about, but nothing to cry about either. We go 3-3. Hit the Braves, Pirates first 5 under. McCutchen ends up getting a hit and an RBI in that game, though. Wyatt Langford comes through for us, and then the Dodgers, for slight plus money, had to sweat that one out as it was literally a, 14-10, 14-11 game. But they do ultimately come through. And then the Blue Jays, Mariners, those don't come through, or that one doesn't come through. And then Phillies first 5 doesn't come through either against Cleveland. So a 3-3 night. Let's do a little bit better today. Like I said, we do have a full MLB slate to dive into. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, guys. Let's get rocking here. Starting off with game number 1, we have Pittsburgh taking on Atlanta. Andrew Heaney on the mound going up against AJ Smith-Sawyer. I honestly would look, I guess I'm still going to make the argument for, I don't know if I get it down myself, but I was going to try and look towards Pittsburgh here. The problem is I didn't think they would win necessarily yesterday, you know? We did it the first 500, so I didn't think it would be this blowout game or anything, but 3-2 win for Pittsburgh. I liked their matchup today, again, because of the left hand, and we kind of saw that yesterday as well, right? This Atlanta team really does struggle, 1, on the road against lefties, and 2, just against lefties in general. The problem is, I don't know if we can actually get there because Pittsburgh won yesterday. What are the odds that they win 2 in a row? And then secondarily, you throw out the fact that, you know, it is the Pittsburgh offense. Like, I don't think that they're necessarily going to get to Smith-Sawyer or anything like that. The one good thing is that he really does struggle against the right-handed bats, and this is a Pittsburgh offense that has, like, I want to say 6 or 7 right-handed bats in their lineup today. I want to say Reynolds switch hitter, so he'll be batting lefty, so 6 right-handed bats. That seems like a decent spot. So it would be Pittsburgh or nothing for me in this one. I just don't know if we fully get there. Also slightly lean towards the under. I don't think I like it as much as the first 5 under yesterday or anything like that, but again, it's tough with a team like Atlanta who struggles against lefties, facing a lefty today, and Pittsburgh who just struggles against anybody that can throw a ball. It's tough to get to a total of 10 there, right? So I'm going to lean towards the under 9. Moving on to Washington taking on St. Louis here. Matchup between Payante for the Cardinals and Trevor Williams here for the Nats. Neither one of these pitchers I really want to trust. Like, Payante looked good, and now he's really struggled, especially as a starter, I guess we could say, right? So I don't really want to trust him, but I do think that there is a clear-cut better offense. Now, yesterday I made the case almost kind of like reverse thinking, right? That Washington was the team because you got plus money, they're at home, and, you know, everything was kind of equal, but they're at home, and it's almost like St. Louis at some point will lose, and then Washington at some point will win. Well, St. Louis just extended their win streak. Washington extended their losing streak, and St. Louis put up 10 runs. Eric Fetty threw 9 innings there, so yeah, we got to give him a little bit of credit, right? 9 innings. I want to say it was, he didn't even pitch that. I think he pitched like 100 pitches, something like that. So credit to Eric Fetty. I guess I would look at St. Louis yet again here today. I mean, you're getting good value, and after what I saw yesterday, like, I'm not really looking to back Washington, who has lost like 3 or 4 straight games, even though they're at home. So as much as Payante has been a little bit strugglesome, I don't think that I can get there, you know, on the Washington side of things. So this is probably a pass type game for me, but I'll lean towards St. Louis. And I also, yet again, kind of like the under. I don't think that Washington's going to have a crazy good game. And this St. Louis offense, even though they scored 10 yesterday, what do we like to do? When someone scores 10 the day before, a lot of the times they can and may be fadeable on the next game, right? So I'm going to lean slightly under in this one. But if I'm being honest, 2 slightly-ish, I guess, underwhelming games to start. Next up, we have the A's taking on the Yanks, and I do think that I can get to a Yankees play here in this one. Right now, they're -150, which is pretty damn juicy, but you look across the industry and they're kind of in the minus 155 range, minus 160 range. So over on MGM, if we can get a, minus 150 or better, I think I've actually seen minus 148 there. Minus 150 right now. So that might be where we go. We do have Carlos Rodon on the mound, who has been phenomenal on the road, which is crazy because he was a guy a year ago that was really good at home, right? And not so great on the road. But we have a guy that's good on the road this year, going up against an Athletics lineup, which, yes, I do give them credit that this is good offense, or I should say better than I originally thought. But still, the Yankees are better. And like I said, Rodon has been on absolute fire. JP Sears is on the mound for the Athletics, and though he gets a lot of crap, I would say that he's been pretty damn good as well, but he's gone up against Miami, Texas, and then the White Sox in his last 4 starts. So it's like, he's facing the Yankees now. I think that'll be a little bit different. You look at their career numbers against the current guys that make up the roster, starting with JP Sears, 37 plate appearances against, 18.9% K rate, not great, 10.8% walk rate, not great, an average against of 406. I think the Yankees get to him today. Flip it over to Carlos Rodon here. We have him 52 plate appearances against this current A's roster. Strikeout rate of 23.1, pretty good. Walk rate 5.8, okay. Expected batting average against a 234 and an expected WOBA 278. I like those a heck of a lot more than what I'm seeing from JP Sears. Looks like we're going to have a little bit of wind, 89 degrees there in Sacramento. Give me the Yankees as well as their team total over. I think as crazy as it is to actually maybe say with that minus 150, I think there may be more value on the money line there at minus 150. Again, we can compare it to minus 160 elsewhere than taking a peek at their over 4.5 for minus 165. Because I think just to get like fair odds, it's like over 5.5. But that's a little bit telling, right? You look at the Athletics, and for them to score over 3.5, it's minus 155. The Yankees, to get to that same number, they have to score a whole nother run more. So I think line reading a little bit, the Yankees will be the side today, and their team total over is probably what I'd ultimately end up looking at. If we were to take a stab at a player prop here, it's really going to be any A's, unders, or nothing for me. Nothing really jumping out to me as of right now, but we're still kind of digging around in there. I thought about Gio Urshela here, under 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Same thing with Shea. Urshela really does struggle against the left-handed pitch. 227 on the year, but against lefties, 154. Rodon's been phenomenal against the righty bats. The problem is Urshela does hit the fastball pretty damn well. He doesn't hit the slider well. The changeup he hits okay, but to me, from minus 160, I'm really looking for that number one pitch to be the pitch that they struggle against. And then for Shea Langeliers here, all of his pitches that he throws, he should fare well against, but he hits lefties better than righties. So there's little bits and pieces that you can make an argument on either side. So I think it's going to be Yankees, and honestly, that's got a great chance of being a final play, and maybe nothing else in the game, unfortunately. And actually, one last thing to note to kind of put a little bit of icing on the cake here, using our dashboard, which I'll show you how to get access to this dashboard in just a little bit. You can see here, Rodon's been pretty damn good against everybody this year, but righties in particular, right? That red number is very good. Look at how many righties are going to be in the lineup today, right? We have 3 lefties, 6 righties in the lineup. Yes, they're all sort of at the bottom of the order, but if he can get through those lefties towards the middle of the order, he should be able to go right through these bottom bats, which is very good. And you can even see, even Butler, right? One of the guys that is a lefty, which Rodon may, and I'm not even saying he struggles, but he's just a little bit worse than righties, batting just 130 against lefties. So I think it's a good spot for him. You flip it over to JP Sears' side of things. There are a couple lefties in the lineup that might hurt you today. Wells, Rice, Bellinger, even Grissom. I mean, Grissom really isn't hitting lefty pitchers all that well, but the top of that lineup, regardless of lefty-righty splits from the pitcher perspective, lefty-righty splits from the batter perspective, you have 5 of the top 6 batters in this Yankees lineup, rearing and ready to go. You can see here a lot of fastballs are expected from him. Yankees hitting the fastball 4th best in their last 30 days. So even our dashboard really does check this one out pretty damn well, and a slight bullpen advantage as well. So yeah, really do like this one. Let me show you how to get access to our dashboard, which I believe is the best starting point of a research process in the MLB out there, because it's a lot of tools in one. So over on GuyBostonSports.com, you can see it right here. It's also the link in the pinned comment. That takes you to the final plays, but it is the same website. You head over to the members area. I would recommend doing this on the computer. It'll still work on mobile, but it's going to look a little bit different than what I'm showing you here. But in the members area, you click on MLB Dashboard. Now I'm already logged in, and you'll see that I can open up this dashboard, and each and every game is broken out in a very visual format. The cool thing about it is that it pulls from multiple sites, and I actually manually update from multiple sites. So I would say, about 7 or 8 different websites pumped into one dashboard. The cool thing is it's going to save you and me time. I built this so I could save myself time prior to recording videos of getting all the information very efficiently and optimizing the process, right? And now we roll it out to you guys. But you have pitcher data on the left, even pitch mix data. Then we have batting as a team, batting against certain pitchers as a team. Then down to the player in terms of average versus the hand, OPS versus the hand, as well as against specific pitches that pitch mix might indicate that they'll throw, right? And everything's color-coded. Green's good. Red is bad. Again, what this does is just helps you optimize your process. If you're looking at it in the morning or something like that, it's going to save you so much time. And I know that for a fact because it saves me so much time. Updating it might not, but having it at my disposal throughout the day really does. So again, head over to the members area. If you're not logged in, I'll set this to my view without a membership access. You'll see right here, you click that and it's going to say, hey, membership required. We do have multiple memberships available. The MLB dashboard right here is $4.99 per month. So literally for less than one Starbucks coffee, you're getting this for an entire month, and it does recur over and over. You can also get the All Sports dashboard, which is $6.99 right now. You get the NBA and the MLB. Once football rolls around, you get the football dashboard, and the cool thing about it, whatever price you get in at, you're locked in as long as your subscription stays active. If you cancel and come back, that's a different story, but whatever you get in at, say we raise the price because we add something that's groundbreaking into this, and you're still an active subscriber to the membership, you'll get it at that price. So check it out, guys, GuyBostonSports.com. Again, this dashboard, I truly believe, will save everybody time, whether you're looking in the morning or you get home late from work or something like that. Save you so much time because you can just visually start to see, is it the end all be all? Maybe not. You know, you might have to go dig into another site that you're comfortable with or something, but you'll at least have an angle of attack and a path to go down. So this steers you in the right direction, if not having everything all in one spot. Tampa Bay taking on Milwaukee. Tampa Bay does have Taj Bradley on the mound, and though maybe his numbers this year wouldn't be like the craziest home-away splits, I think we know, and if you've been watching Taj Bradley long enough, you know that at home, that's really where you could trust him. He is going up against a Milwaukee team that kind of struggles against the fastball and the cutter, as well as the splitter. In fact, I'll show you a little sneak peek into the dashboard here. You can see this pitch mix. Nothing really looking good for Milwaukee in terms of hitting this. And they are going up against a righty, Tobias Myers, who's kind of not exactly had the best of seasons. Struggles against lefties, decent amount of lefties in the Tampa Bay lineup. Hook, line, sinker, whatever the hell the saying is. I think this is a Tampa Bay spot. Do I like the minus 130 price tag, especially after winning yesterday? Maybe not, but I don't necessarily mind the idea of backing Taj Bradley at home, right? So give me the Rays here. In terms of a total, a little difficult to kind of narrow this one down because I don't think the Brewers are going to have the best of games, but I don't think we're getting the best value there, right? Like, I would say Brewers team total under, but to me, yeah, it is kind of a sketchy price. So let me get an updated line and price so I can tell you what I'm talking about here. So right now, Brewers team total under 4.5. They'd have to go out there and score 5 runs, minus 115. That's almost saying it's a toss-up that they'll score 5 runs. I'm thinking Taj Bradley's going to pitch a good game, so it's kind of dicey, right? In terms of what we have from weather, it's beautiful in that Tampa Bay spot. We have wind blowing out, really, really hot, and 50% chance of rain. Beautiful with sarcasm. Yes, you'd have wind blowing out, but if it's going to rain and be crappy, I think I like the under. But again, if there's wind blowing out, maybe there's more home runs. Kind of dicey there. I'm thinking Brewers team total under 4.5, okay? But again, it's a little worrisome, I would say, in general, just based on what we're seeing from a price. But you know what? Scared money don't make money. That's what I'd say. Brewers team total under, and then no player props as of right now that I'm liking. I would consider some Milwaukee, unders, but to me, with a guy like Taj Bradley, if it's raining, if his fastball he can't locate, we potentially could see some trouble, right? So I think I might just stick to their team total under and cross my fingers and hope Bradley has a good game. Let's just hope. All right, next up, we got Cleveland taking on Philadelphia. We got Tanner Bybee on the mound, who I'm a big Bybee guy, going up against Ranger Suarez, who has one start under his belt this year. I believe it's one, right? And yeah, it didn't go too well for him. He went 3 2/3. Now, it was against the, who did he go up against? I believe it was a good offense. I don't have that off the top of my head or in my notes here. 7 earned runs, 6 strikeouts, 2 walks, but his ERA was a 17.8. Like, that's not all great. Whip was not all that great. I didn't even finish that sentence. Whip was like a 2.5. I do think Suarez could bounce back a little bit, especially after they lose, but Tanner Bybee's still a good pitcher as well. So I think because of the price, I'm going to trust a little bit here of the Philadelphia offense, and I will lean towards them. But even though we rolled with them yesterday, I'm not all that certain I get to them today, okay? I think Tanner Bybee's fastball and cutter if he's locating them pretty well, could be okay. The one thing I will say is he does not get batters to chase or anything like that, so there's going to be some hit balls today, and if Philadelphia is on, we could see some trouble, in Tanner Bybee's land. The problem is Ranger Suarez. How much can we trust him? This is a Cleveland team that doesn't hit lefties all that well, sure, but you're still getting minus money behind him. So I'm going to say Philadelphia. Again, don't know if I fully get there myself. Maybe we look at Philadelphia team total over. That could be a thought here, right? Because even if they go out there and lose this game because Suarez went out there and stunk it up, we still could see them put up, 4 runs? They scored how many yesterday? 0. At some point, I think that they do put up some runs, right? Out of their last, this season, they've scored at least 4 runs in 63% of games. Their last 5 games, they did it in all 4. Now, 9, 8, 7, 7, you could say they were due for a dud of a game. They got it against Cleveland, right? But they're averaging 5.7 over their last 10 games. So, yeah, I'm going to say Philadelphia at least has a decent game today. They don't have the best numbers. I will admit that best numbers against Tanner Bybee or against Cleveland in general. So a little worrisome. But again, with a spot in which I think that we have fine weather, we have, an offense that should be okay. Tanner Bybee has kind of struggled against the right-handed bats, so Trey Turner, Castellanos, Raul Muto, some of those guys could be pretty good today. Give me their team total over. I think I'm talking myself into it. What do you guys say? Sounds like it, right? So give me the team total over for the Phillies because I do think that they can get to Bybee. I just don't know if I'm fully willing to back Ranger Suarez, and I'll pay the extra, 15 cents to just, not have to back him and get their team total. So, yeah, team total over is what I'm going to look at here. In terms of the side and total, that's kind of the hybrid approach. You know what I mean? Detroit taking on Texas. We have good pitching matchup. Jack Flaherty going up against DeGrom. I would say that this is a nice little spot for potential pick'em at home for Detroit. I think the big name in DeGrom is carrying a lot of weight here. He's going to throw a ton of fastballs, as is Jack Flaherty. Detroit hit fastballs really, really well. Texas does not. So that's kind of where I'm making up my mind. But I do think DeGrom is obviously good enough and definitely a good enough pitcher to be able to navigate that and navigate a team that hits fastballs well. Saw a very low-scoring game yesterday. It was, 2-1 as a final. Corbett and Skubal both pitched really well. I think in this spot, I say, okay, well, we saw it yesterday. Let's trust it again. I'm going to go first 5 under 4.5 in this spot. Shout out to the hat coming soon. First 5 under. Comment F5 if you made it this far in the video. But hat looks pretty cool, right? We haven't launched it yet or anything like that, but kind of clean. Let's get you a little close-up here. The embroidery. Good stuff, wouldn't you say? But yeah, first 5 under is going to be what I look at in this one. Like I said, maybe a sneaky spot for Detroit. I don't know if it's sneaky, but I do think the name in DeGrom is carrying a lot of weight here, in which the way I would cut this up is that Detroit's in a better spot. But ultimately, I'm giving credit to both pitchers and them being able to pitch well. So I don't want to sit here and act like I'm ragging all over them. If we look at their their career versus the current rosters, starting with Jacob DeGrom, 29 plate appearances against, so not that much, right? But 55.2% K rate. That's pretty good, by the way. 3.4% walk rate, an expected batting average against of 101, and an expected WOBA of 121. Pretty damn good. 29 plate appearances, I get it, but still. Those are facts. We flip it over to Jack Flaherty. Pretty damn good as well. 75 plate appearances against. A 28% K rate, just 6.7% walk rate. Average against of 174. Does jump to 225 and an expected batting average against. But look at that expected WOBA at 292. Still pretty good. So I like the first 5 under between these two teams. And maybe a flyer on Detroit if I really had to pick a side. But I don't think I have to pick a side today. I think I'm going to trust both pitchers. And kind of in doing so, I'm also going to take a peek at a few unders. Wyatt Langford, I think, could be another spot to take a peek at his under today. He really hasn't been doing all that well. Yes, he hits righties a little bit better, but the slider and curve, which are going to be the pitch number 2 and 3 from Jack Flaherty, could really give him some struggles. And you're getting some decent value on his under in hits, runs, and RBIs today at plus 100. So don't really mind him in that spot. And then I believe I had one more under that, I guess not. Yeah. Oh, Jock Peterson, actually. He's like a little note, but honestly, maybe he's starting to turn things around. He's just batting terribly, so that's why I didn't mind him. But yeah, I think first 5 under is going to be a final play. I could probably tell you that right now. White Sox taking on Miami. Guess what? Nothing's changed between yesterday and today. Still not a spot in which I'm loving this. I will say, I would just fade recent results. Chicago won yesterday. I would imagine Miami wins today by a game score of something fairly similar. I still don't believe in either one of these offenses, even though we have 2 pitchers on the mound that might make you cringe, and Shane Smith as well as Cabrera. But Shane Smith has had some good spots this year. Cabrera, not so much, but still, I do think that that's a way better offense on the Miami side of things. So, hell, I've done crazier things. I would say Miami is the play here, especially in kind of a bounce back spot against a really bad team. I don't know if I have the cojones to play it, but that's certainly what I would do if I do, and as well as an under, because again, both these offenses still aren't anything to talk about. And if there's anything here, Cabrera stinks, but the White Sox bats might stink more, especially scoring a bunch yesterday. And then you have Shane Smith, who's been all right at times. Maybe he can kind of dwarf this Miami offense in a sense. So under and Miami, honestly, there's a slight chance that I get a little crazy because it's Saturday and we roll with them. But right now, I don't think I'm touching much in this game. I say that right now, but like I said, we've done crazier. Houston taking on Cincinnati. We have Lance McCullers Jr. on the mound going up against Brady Singer. So Brady Singer realistically hasn't been all that consistent. I still feel like he's going to turn out with a good year and have a good time, but I would say it's kind of volatile, right? We have one start out of McCullers this season. Didn't look terrible, only went 3 2/3, and it was against the White Sox. So really, what do we make of that? On the other side, Brady Singer has been, like I said, just kind of mediocre. Like, this is a guy that the team isn't really giving him much run support. His last 2 starts, they've scored 0 runs. So again, maybe he looked okay, right? 6 innings pitched, 1 earned run. 6 innings pitched, 4 earned runs. You put those together, those are 2 all right spots. For the plus money, I'm going to go ahead and lean towards Cincinnati here in this spot. We should see a good sinker and slider out of Singer today, obviously. Houston does hit those pretty well, but some of the big bats like, I guess Altuve, Paredes, these guys don't necessarily hit the sinker all that well. The slider, the end of the order doesn't really hit, so yeah, it's kind of just a flyer for the plus money. I'm going to lean towards Cincinnati. I don't think that there's much that I roll with in this game. I'd also say the over, because what if Brady Singer goes into mediocrity again, and the Reds bullpen that at times has looked very good, they still can be a little bit of a struggle bus type of bullpen too, even though I do think that they're actually showing a lot of people up and surprising a lot of people. But to me, it still just isn't enough to get to Houston and pay this price with McCullers Jr. on the mound. All right. I might be being biased here, but we're getting Garrett Crochet. We're getting Garrett Crochet at minus 105. Actually, what are the updated odds on this one? Getting Garrett Crochet at plus 100. Off of a loss here with the Red Sox, I do think that this is a spot in which we could certainly consider getting down. So Red Sox money line, it's based on Garrett Crochet. I joke about being biased. I really don't necessarily think it's a full bias play. I think it is more taking a guy that I think is phenomenal, putting him against the Kansas City offense that I'm now willing to fade since that they've been, so freaking good, right? Like, look at this offense recently. Let me read off their recent games, because they've won how many out of their last 15 games, right? They've been absolutely crazy, but their offense, they've won some games 3-0. 3-0. Then they won a game 4-0, 3-0, 4-3, 2-1, 2-1. Out of their last 10 games in which they've won 9 of, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 have been with 4 or less runs. Now, Cole Reagans is on the mound, and I've talked about him plenty. We haven't really mentioned him yet. I think that he is very, very good, kind of a really underrated player in this league. So I don't think the Red Sox can go out there and score a crap ton, but I think Garrett Crochet can do his damn job and prevent this Royals team from even getting to maybe like 4 or 5 runs. Now, the bullpen is pretty taxed, so I might look at this either Red Sox money line or Red Sox first 5, or hell, maybe Kansas City team total under in the first 5. But I do think that there's a way to get to Garrett Crochet. I'm not buying it, and I've been the one, which is funny because now it's like shoes are reversed or rolls are reversed. I've been the one saying at some point, and I know a lot of people have too, so I'm not taking full credit, that at some point this Royals offense will obviously go out there and be good. You know what I mean? Like, they are too good to suck like this. But when you really look at it, it's like they're starting to turn it around. I still believe in that, but I don't think that they've like turned it around. You know what I mean? Like, yes, they're starting to. I wouldn't sit here and say that they have. So give me their first 5 money line. I do think that could be a good play on the Red Sox here. Again, if I get burned by Crochet, fine. We've gotten burned by him a couple times this year, so it is what it is. In terms of a total, like I said, I don't think the Red Sox are really going to get to Cole Reagans, so maybe a first 5 unders in the mix, maybe a full game under, but I really don't think that there's a big chance that I touch that first 5 under, the full game under, because of the fact that we're looking at a Red Sox bullpen that already is pretty, not all that great, going up against a Kansas City team that maybe their offense gets going, but this Red Sox bullpen is super, super taxed. So, yeah, it's probably Red Sox first 5 or nothing for me. I took a long way to get there, but that's what I'm thinking about rolling with. All right, real quick on this one. Mets taking on the Cubs, and I say real quick because I don't have the strongest of take. If you like the Cubs for plus money, I get it. They've now lost 3 straight games, 4 of their last 5. Their offense is too good to keep that going. But there is a strong pitching advantage, I would say, here. Brad Keller starting it off for this Cubs team, and then Horton, I think, comes in, but it's up against Tyler McGill, who's had a pretty damn good year. So if you want to pay that minus 150, I get it too. I'm going to trust that the Cubs, and kind of fading of recent events, the Cubs bounce back and maybe win this one. But that's for plus money, and I get it. Worst bullpen, worst starter, and honestly, the Mets offense, they might be the better offense in it. So I understand that, but I'm going to lean towards the Cubs in this one just for the value as well as an under. Looks like we're going to have some crappy weather, which, again, I think that might give this, or not crappy weather, I think it's like just a little chilly, but wind blowing directly in. I think it gives the Cubs maybe a little bit more of a chance than a nice, beautiful day when there's a massive pitching advantage on the Mets side of things, right? So if the pitchers kind of get muted by the weather potentially, or both of them get better, then things get a little bit narrower, and you have plus 140 on one side, kind of how I'm thinking about it. And again, because of that weather and under lean. Another game with 2 really good pitchers involved here. We have Joe Ryan going up against Logan Webb. This is going to be an interesting one because you have Joe Ryan, who, minus 115 at home, I don't think is a bad look. He's been really good at home this year. 0.68 whip, FIP of 2.58. Does go to 3.1, but that's still pretty good in terms of a FIP, expected FIP. Average against at home of 197. A lot of righties in this lineup for the Giants, and guess what? Joe Ryan, pretty damn good against righties, so all kind of checking out here. The bullpen, though, the bullpen is a little taxed. Now, not many guys went yesterday, but a lot of workload the days prior, and San Francisco's bullpen now sitting there in a decent spot. Minnesota also won yesterday, and you know what? Sometimes I like to sit there and be like, well, the opposite happens the next day. I'm almost caught between a Minnesota play or trusting that both of these pitchers can be better than the offense, and looking at a first 5 under. Now, the problem with that is that we're already at a total of 7, right? So if we want to trust this under and look at an under 4.5, I think we have to pay like minus 160, minus 165 now, which is definitely a lot to pay. So to me, the play might just be, okay, well, let's go out there and back Minnesota, right? Because Joe Ryan going to throw a lot of fastballs. This is a San Francisco team that does not hit the fastball all that well. He'll turn to the splitter and slider. The splitter they stink against. The slider maybe not so much. You flip it on the Logan Webb side of things. He's going to go sinker. Well, guess what? Minnesota dead last in the league at hitting the sinker. But the slider they hit well, the changeup they hit well. So at least there's some get back there. This is a tough one. We may swallow the bite the bullet and go first 5 under 4, or just back Minnesota in general. On the season, we really haven't had great luck out of the first 5 when it comes to San Francisco, but a lot of the time it's been them scoring. So I think that's worth noting. Joe Ryan, in terms of his first 5, he's hit it in 5 of his 7 starts, and at home he's hit it in 2 of his 3. So there could be some backing here of a first 5 under 4 between these two squads. So yeah, we're kind of caught in between a few different things here, I would say. But under 4, yes, it's a low line, but it's really the only line I think that we can kind of get behind that has any value. Like, I don't want to pay minus 165. Minus 160 is honestly, and that 5 cents of difference in terms of my math and my algorithm here does make a big deal. It's not worth that 5 cents. So first 5 under in Minnesota is what I'm going to lean towards. There's also definitely some angles to take in terms of player props. You name it. You want to give me an under on either side in terms of hits, runs, and RBIs. I'm kind of game for it. I like the idea of someone like Jung-Ho Lee, who is obviously very, very good, but we've seen 2 straight games of him getting nothing. Maybe we take a peek at him. You look at it from a matchup perspective. He doesn't hit righties as well as he does lefties, and this is a Joe Ryan that should be pretty good. Now, the fastball, slider, and splitter, that fastball is good, which is what he's going to throw, but the slider and splitter also kind of struggle. But I do like the idea of minus 110 for that under, right? You flip it over to the other side of things. Royce Lewis, a guy that we almost rolled with yesterday. This could be a spot. I believe he's still looking for his first hit of the year coming back, but you know what? Does it come against, Logan Webb today? I wouldn't jump to that conclusion and say yes, so maybe that's a spot that we can consider as well. Royce Lewis, again, maybe we're the reverse jinx because he's only been back for a little bit, but I like his under 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. So decent amount we can go with all unders in this game. Arizona taking on the Dodgers here. Good game yesterday, and I think we can expect another good game today. In terms of my lean, I would say that this Arizona offense is not going anywhere. They do have Corbin Burnes, who's been good at home. We look at him against this Dodgers roster. He's had some pretty decent success. 205 average against, over 99 plate appearances. So yeah, give me the Dodgers on the money line. Obviously, this is a game in which we saw a lot of action yesterday. Dodgers bullpen did kind of get used, especially Miller, Gankle, Thompson, and I think Beeks went too. The Dodgers bullpen, they say Dodgers, the Diamondbacks bullpen, the Dodgers bullpen still got used as well, but they had no work the day before. So maybe a first five for Arizona. I mean, you're going Dustin May versus Corbin Burnes. At some point, Corbin Burnes, I do think, shows a little bit of himself. He really hasn't been himself so far this season, especially for what you'd expect out of him. So, yeah, maybe we just go head-to-head there, first five money line for Arizona. I just think for the plus money, it could be worth it. In terms of the total, I'm not one to sit here and say that it's going to be low scoring. These are two of the best offenses in the league, even if they just did what they normally do. So if we look at their runs for, this should be over. Both teams averaging 5.6, which is the Dodgers, and 5.2. That's 10.8 runs expected to be scored if they just do what they've been doing. So hard for me to look at an under. All right, we have Colorado taking on San Diego. As much as I like the number there of Colorado at home, plus that San Diego put up a decent number yesterday. Now, Colorado put up a good one too, 9, right? But I even said in yesterday's video, there's no reason for me to believe that, San Diego shouldn't be able to put up a high total. We didn't roll with it because it was crazy. It was like 7.5 was what you had to roll with. Now we have Blaylock on the mound. He stinks. Kolek on the mound for San Diego. Sure, one start looked really good. It was against Pittsburgh, though, but not like Colorado's any better. I would still say San Diego can score big, but to me, minus 215 is not worth the pitcher they have on the mound. So I don't think I'm going to roll with myself, but I do think the lean is worth the psycho alert alarm. Colorado money line, as well as the over. I think that's probably all I'd touch. We can be quick with that one. Angels taking on Baltimore. Baltimore gets the 4-1 win yesterday. Sagano, I think, went 8 innings, or went into the 8th inning, at least. I know that. Now we have Kokonowicz going up against, who's pitching for the, Kyle Gibson, who, okay, 2 bad pitchers here, but not the best offenses. I will say, and I will give credit to Baltimore in that they're going up against a righty, which is obviously a big difference maker, and against a guy that I do think his pitch mix could kind of struggle. A lot of sliders, they should be able to hit that well, fastballs as well. The sinker he should fare well against, but the majority of the team is able to hit the slider, and like I said, in the fastball. So I guess Baltimore would be my lean in this spot. Do I think a Baltimore team that seems to be struggling pretty mightily is worth minus 140? Not so much, but I'm really struggling to get to the Angels. So I'll take Baltimore, maybe a peek at their team total over, because again, we do have Kyle Gibson on the bump. I don't think that that's at all something that, we're looking for here in a sense to want to back. But if we can get, Baltimore's team total at, I want to say, 4.5 for minus 110, which let me get it minus 145, about 35 cents off. I don't think we touch much in this game, but I would say Baltimore could score, 4 or 5 runs. Seattle taking on Toronto. Do not get it twisted. There is a Logan on the mound here for Seattle, but it's Logan Evans. We've made that mistake before, not Logan Gilbert. Toronto has Bowden Francis out there. They win yesterday 6-3. They scored early and kind of hung on to it. I don't see any reason why we can't take another little shot at them today. I mean, Seattle's the better offense, but Logan Evans really isn't all that great. His pitch mix, he has a bunch of different pitches, but, I think that for the plus money, Toronto would be the side that I look at. Do I have the cojones to back Bowden Francis? Maybe not. I mean, he did look good at one point, but he's really, really struggled his last few starts. Toronto, Boston, Cleveland. Say what you want about the offenses. I would say Seattle's right in their ballpark or better. So, yeah, I'm going to take Toronto, but it's a little bit risky. In terms of the total, I think it's a little down there. It looks like we're going to have, a low-scoring game. I guess we could say this is a dome stadium, so I don't see any reason why we wouldn't, get perfect weather in a sense, but both offenses, Bowden Francis, if the Toronto wins this game, I expect it to be somewhat low scoring, right? So Logan Evans on the other side of things, hopefully he can be all right, because Toronto's offense isn't all that great, and we see like a 4-3 game, 5-3 at worst type of a thing. And then no major player props that I'm liking in this one. Guys, it's going to wrap it up for today's show. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you did, go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well. Really do appreciate it. Comment 33 if you made it this far into the video. And let's keep kicking the MLB, man. We've been having a lot of fun in the MLB this year, and it's been working out. We're sticking to some of the lanes that we've been profitable in and doing well in. You know what? It's been working. This is such a long season. We're not even nearly halfway. It's like, I think the equivalent is, maybe week 3 or week 2 of the NFL season. Like, put that into perspective. That's absolutely crazy. So yeah, we take our time, stick into what's working, and we'll obviously evolve as the season goes on. But yeah, catch you guys in the next one, all right? Peace out.